At 70, I no longer find myself making the rounds to visit people as I once did, and it's not due to a lack of love for those around me. It's simply that reaching this age has ushered in a different perspective, one where peace, reflection, and a slower pace of life hold far more value than social obligations. It's not that I don't enjoy spending time with loved ones, I certainly do. But as I've aged, I've come to realize that constant socializing doesn't always bring the joy it once did. It's more about finding the balance between connection and inner peace. As life progresses, you start to understand that the days no longer feel like a race to the next thing. At 70, the rhythm of life has naturally slowed down, and with that comes a new appreciation for simplicity. There's no longer a to-do list packed with tasks that demand my attention or a schedule jammed with appointments. Instead, my mornings now begin with quiet moments, a cup of coffee in hand, watching the light filtering through the trees outside my window. There's something profound in that stillness, a beauty I hadn't noticed in the busyness of youth. In my younger years, there was always something to chase, someone to visit, a dinner to attend, a coffee to catch up over. It felt necessary to constantly show up, to be part of everything. The drive to stay connected, to be seen, was strong. But now, I've come to realize that the connections I hold dearest don't always need my physical presence. A thoughtful phone call or a heartfelt letter can sometimes carry more meaning than a visit. It's not that I don't care about the people in my life. It's that I've learned to value a quieter way of staying connected. These simpler, less demanding forms of interaction allow me to preserve the peaceful rhythm of my days while still nurturing the relationships that matter most. The more I embrace this slower pace, the more I realize how much of life's beauty resides in stillness. I've learned that it's often the quiet moments, the gentle movement of sunlight, the rustling of wind through trees, or the soft hum of my surroundings that are the most precious. These are the moments that would be missed if I were constantly rushing from one visit to another, always doing, never just being. Visiting others once felt like a joyful obligation, but now it can sometimes feel like stepping into a more demanding world. A world where time is scheduled, conversations are rushed, and space for stillness is scarce. I no longer feel compelled to keep up with that pace. Instead, I've found contentment in a steadier, quieter rhythm. There's wisdom that comes with aging, the understanding that not every invitation needs to be accepted, and not every moment needs to be filled with activity. I no longer feel guilty about declining an invitation. It's not about being unkind. It's about recognizing my limits and honoring the life I've chosen to live. Reflecting on the past, I realize how much time I spent feeling like there was never enough of it, always rushing to the next thing. Now, I treasure the present by embracing a slower pace. It's not about withdrawing from the world. It's about choosing a life that feels authentic to me. I've learned that time expands in quiet moments, and that there's no rush to be anywhere other than right where I am. The choice to visit less is not about isolation. It's about fully embracing the here and now, about being present in the spaces I've created for myself. Energy is another precious commodity that becomes increasingly apparent as we grow older. In my youth, I took my energy for granted. I could fill a day with activities, social visits, and late-night conversations, and still be up for more the next day. But at 70, I've learned to be more deliberate about how I use my energy. There are days when I feel vibrant, eager to go for a walk or have a long chat with a friend. But there are also days when even the thought of leaving the house feels overwhelming, and I've learned to honor that. The mental and emotional energy required for a visit often feels like more than I have to give. It's not just the travel or the act of showing up. It's the need to be fully present, to listen and engage. I cherish these moments, but they can leave me feeling drained. So I choose to save my energy for the things that bring me the most joy. Sometimes, That means a quiet afternoon reading a book or making a phone call to a loved one. It's not about being selfish. It's about being mindful with my energy and focusing on what truly nurtures me. The way we socialize today also feels different. I remember a time when visiting was more spontaneous. You could show up at someone's door unannounced with a smile or a small gift, and they would welcome you without question. The connection was genuine, not dictated by formalities or expectations. But now, visits are planned, scheduled, and often come with a certain level of pressure to appear perfect. Tidy homes, prepared meals, and the right attire. These pressures, though small, detract from the authentic joy of the visit. I no longer want to feel like I have to perform or conform to a set of expectations when I spend time with those I care about. I want to feel at ease, relaxed, and real. Social gatherings, too, have shifted. Conversations often seem more hurried, more surface level, as if everyone is trying to cram their stories into a limited space. There's less room for deeper, meaningful exchanges. I miss the simplicity of earlier times when socializing felt more genuine, and connections were forged without the constraints of time. There's also the practical side of visiting as I grow older. Many homes are not built with seniors in mind. Stairs become harder to navigate, chairs are uncomfortable, and noise levels can make it difficult to fully engage. These small discomforts can sometimes overshadow the joy of visiting. But I've learned to adapt. Handwritten notes, phone calls, and video chats have become my preferred methods of staying connected. These quieter, more intimate forms of communication allow me to stay close to those I care about without the added stress of modern social expectations. The world may have changed, but I've learned to find new ways to engage in ways that preserve my peace and authenticity. I've let go of the need to keep up with every social norm and embraced a life that feels more true to who I am at this stage of my journey. As I reflect on life at this stage, it becomes clear that what truly matters isn't just the way we connect with others, but the depth of the love and care that we bring to those connections. It's not about fitting into a mold of modern expectations, but rather about fostering relationships that feel genuine, sincere, and full of meaning. The connections that truly matter are those in which we invest our hearts, where love flows effortlessly, and where we feel a true sense of belonging. For me, home has taken on a completely new significance over the years. What was once just a roof over my head has now become a sanctuary, a retreat where I find peace, comfort, and solace. I've come to realize that no matter how lovely someone else's space might be, it will never quite compare to the warmth of my own. My home is an extension of who I am. It tells my story with every object, every corner, and every memory embedded within its walls. Sitting in my favorite chair by the window, bathed in soft light, I am reminded of the things that ground me. It's not just a piece of furniture. It's a place where I can truly be myself. The small, seemingly insignificant moments, like the smells of my kitchen, the gentle creaks of the floorboards, or the way the sun warms the room in the late afternoon, bring a sense of comfort that is hard to explain but easy to feel. My home is the place where I feel most at ease, where I don't have to adjust myself to fit in. It fits me in a way that no other place can. The idea of leaving this sanctuary, even to visit someone I care about, has become more daunting over time. As much as I cherish my relationships, the thought of stepping outside my comfort zone has become more challenging. Their homes, while welcoming, are unfamiliar. Will their chairs be comfortable? Will I have to navigate stairs or awkward spaces? These questions, which never used to cross my mind, now make every outing feel like a carefully considered decision. It's not that I don't care about others. It's just that my home has become my retreat, a place where I can unwind and simply be. I've also become more aware of the physical limitations that come with age. My body doesn't move the way it once did, and that's something I try to ignore but can't always. Climbing stairs strains my knees, Sitting for long periods affects my back, and I tire more quickly than before. These subtle changes shape how I approach life now. I find myself considering whether I have enough energy for an outing or if the space I'm visiting will be comfortable enough for me. These aren't trivial concerns. They're real challenges that make visiting others more complicated than it once was. The spaces I enter are no longer just places. They're environments that can either support or hinder my sense of well-being. Many homes aren't designed with older adults in mind. Stairs can be daunting, soft couches can be difficult to get out of, and cramped spaces make me feel unsteady. It's not just about convenience. It's about safety and maintaining my dignity. I don't want to be a burden, constantly asking for help or accommodations. So, more often than not, I choose to stay home. It's not always easy to accept these limitations, but I've learned to be kind to myself. My body is doing its best, even if it's not as strong or agile as it once was. By accepting these changes, I've found new ways to live fully, within the bounds of what I can do. Staying home doesn't mean shutting myself off from the world. It just means I approach relationships and experiences in a different way. I've come to appreciate the smaller, quieter moments that bring meaning to life. A phone call from a friend, a peaceful moment in my garden, or a handwritten note are all small acts that hold immense value. They remind me that connection isn't about where we are physically, but about the love we share, no matter the distance between us. As I've gotten older, I've learned to be more discerning about the relationships I invest in. I no longer feel the need to nurture every connection or keep every relationship alive. Some relationships bring joy and energy into my life, while others seem to drain me without offering much in return. I've made peace with the idea that it's okay to let some relationships fade, as long as I focus on the ones that truly matter. This isn't about holding grudges or creating distance out of resentment. It's about choosing to invest my time and energy where it's most rewarding. There is a beauty in nurturing relationships that are reciprocal, where care flows both ways. These are the connections that bring light to my days, the ones where a simple phone call can feel like a warm hug. As I've grown older, I've come to understand that quality is far more important than quantity. I don't need a large circle of acquaintances. I need a small group of people who truly know me, who love me not despite my flaws but because of them. These are the people who have stood by me through thick and thin, who understand my story and respect it. Focusing on these relationships has brought a peace that I never expected, and I've learned to let go of the pressure to attend every event or keep up with every distant connection. Instead, I find joy in the quieter, more meaningful moments spent with those who truly matter. In a world that is constantly evolving, I've also come to embrace technology as a way to stay connected with others. It's something I once resisted, believing it could never replace the warmth of a face-to-face visit. But over time, I've come to see it as a bridge that keeps me close to the people I love. Video calls, for instance, have become a precious way for me to connect with my children and grandchildren. Seeing their faces light up and hearing their stories is a gift I cherish deeply. It's not the same as being there in person, but it's enough to remind me that love and connection can transcend distance. I've also grown to appreciate text messages and social media, tools I once thought impersonal. I now see them as simple ways to say, "I'm thinking of you." A quick message from a friend or a photo shared by family can brighten my day in unexpected ways. And when I receive handwritten letters, there's something deeply personal and timeless about them. Writing letters forces me to slow down, reflect, and express my feelings in a way that feels real. These letters are keepsakes, reminders that the connections I share are meaningful and enduring. In the end, it's not the method of connection that matters most. It's the love and care we bring to it. Whether it's through technology or tradition, what truly counts is that we stay connected and share our hearts with those who matter most. And I've learned that this, above all else, is what makes life beautiful. Sometimes when I think about visiting others, I can't help but feel the weight of all the losses I've experienced. stepping into a home where someone I once loved lived, or gathering with friends who remind me of those who are no longer here, stirs a deep, lingering sadness. It's not that I don't cherish the relationships I still have. I do. But there's always a heaviness in knowing that some people I would give anything to see again are no longer within reach. Their absence echoes in ways that no conversation can ever fill. Over the years, I've learned to honor these losses in quiet, personal ways. I light candles for those who have passed, allowing their flickering flames to remind me that their light still exists within me. I flip through old photo albums, letting the memories wash over me, both sweet and bittersweet. I speak their names aloud, as if to keep their spirits alive in the air around me. These small rituals help me carry their memory forward, even as I navigate the changing landscape of my relationships. Grief has also taught me to be more present with those who are still here. Every conversation, every shared moment now feels more precious, because I know how quickly things can change. I've become intentional about showing my love and expressing my gratitude, making sure that those who matter most to me know how much I truly appreciate them. In many ways, loss has deepened my capacity for connection, even as it has limited the number of people I connect with. Visiting others can sometimes remind me of who is missing, but it also reminds me of who remains. By focusing on the relationships that bring me joy and comfort, I've found a way to cope with the grief that comes with a life well lived. Loss has shaped me, but it hasn't broken me. It's helped me see the beauty in the time and love I still have. As I've gotten older, I've come to value peace, not just the fleeting moments of quiet, but peace as a state of being that nurtures my mind, body, and soul. Protecting this peace has become one of my top priorities, and I guard it fiercely now. It's not about shutting people out or withdrawing from the world. It's about creating boundaries that allow me to live with intention and in harmony with myself. Sometimes, the act of visiting others can disrupt my peace. The preparations, the travel, and the energy needed to fully engage can feel overwhelming. Even just the anticipation of a visit, wondering if I'll feel comfortable or if the day will go smoothly, can create a sense of unease that lingers in my mind. I've learned to recognize these feelings when they arise and honor them, rather than pushing through out of obligation. For me, peace is found in the simple rhythms of my day. It's in the quiet moments of the morning when the world is just waking up. It's in the sound of birds outside my window, the gentle turn of a book's pages, or the warmth of a blanket on a chilly evening. These small, ordinary moments bring me a sense of grounding that is difficult to find in the hustle and bustle of social engagements. Protecting my peace has also allowed me the space to reflect and grow. I've discovered new passions, like painting and gardening, that bring purpose and joy to my life. I've learned to listen to what I truly need, rather than simply meeting others' expectations. In doing so, I've found a contentment that doesn't rely on external validation or constant activity. It comes from within. That's not to say I don't value connection. On the contrary, I cherish the relationships that bring me peace rather than disrupt it. I've learned to say no to invitations that feel more like obligations, and instead focus on people and activities that align with my need for calm. It's not always easy, but it's a choice that has brought me immeasurable happiness. In protecting my peace, I've found a way to navigate aging with grace. I no longer feel the need to chase after every opportunity or be present for every social occasion. Instead, I focus on creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. In doing so, I've realized that true peace isn't something you find, it's something you create. As I've aged, I've also come to appreciate the beauty of simplicity, especially in my connections with others. The large, fast-paced gatherings that once energized me now feel overwhelming. Instead, I find joy in the quieter, more intimate moments, those that don't require fanfare, just presence. There's something special in the small gestures that make up my day. A neighbor's friendly wave, a warm smile from a cashier, or a simple phone call to check in with a friend. These interactions may seem insignificant to some, but they hold deep meaning for me. They remind me that true connection isn't about grand displays or constant activity. It's about the genuine exchange of care and kindness. These simple connections have taught me to savor the present. I no longer feel the need to attend every event or follow every trend to feel connected to others. I now focus on the depth of the moments I do share, heartfelt conversations, shared laughter, and stories told with love. These moments are the ones that stay with me, long after the day has ended. At 70, I've learned that connection is not about how much you do or how many people you see. It's about the quality of the interactions, the sincerity of the exchange, and the lasting warmth it brings to your heart. These simple, meaningful moments have become the foundation of my life. They're more than enough to fill me with joy. As I reflect on why I've stepped back from visiting around, I realize it's not about withdrawing from the world or the people I care about. It's about honoring this stage of life and the wisdom it brings. It's about understanding that true peace, love, and contentment are found in embracing simplicity and cherishing the small, authentic moments. I'm not distancing myself from life. I'm living it on my own terms. And that's the kind of life that brings profound peace. If you're inspired by this, I encourage you to reflect on the moments that truly matter to you and create a life filled with purpose, love, and gratitude. The best part? It's never too late to start. So, if this resonated with you, take a moment to leave a comment and share what you've learned or plan to embrace in your own life. Let's support each other in living fully and authentically. Thank you for being here, and remember, life is a journey worth embracing on your own terms.